Hey fabulous people, it's Friday! Welcome to the celebration of all things of a really big, emotionally draining, busy week. You know what? It's Friday and it's good to celebrate. Don't you think that it's good to celebrate? I'm not so good at recognizing celebration opportunities because I'm always like on to the next thing and on to the next thing and on to the next thing. So I thought today I would turn up with a wine glass with Pinot inside because I think we need to celebrate. So here we are. Here's to you, here's to me, and here's to all the awesome goodness and wonderful things we did in the world this week. It's so yummy. So thank you to the recommendations for the person who commented on the This is Private Practice post last night that wine made everything better. Wine. Why not? Didn't have any chocolate today. We've done very well. We do miss you, Natalie. But you know what? Things move. People move. Times change. If everything stayed the same, I think we'd all get fairly bored. Awesome news today. I finished that report. Finished. As in, it's gone to the person who proofreads, edits, and make things look special so that my documents don't go out with spelling mistakes. Yes, I know many of you have received emails from me with lots of spelling mistakes. Possibly you've even received documentation on a formal letterhead from me with spelling mistakes. I am excellent at typos and spelling mistakes. I am so good at them. In fact, I am probably a master of that. The thing that I don't have and the ability that I don't seem to get is I don't see them. Now, I'm talking about using the wrong to or the wrong there or the wrong whatever the word is. Oh, use and sue. Ha! That's another one I often type incorrectly and then don't pick it up. So they're usually typos attached to, that create another correctly spelt word so that spell check doesn't even pick them up and Grammarly doesn't even pick things up. Just discovered that tool this week. Thank you, Francis, for that little gem. So I need somebody to proofread my stuff. And I've also gotten over the fact that I make spelling mistakes. I figure if somebody can point out the spelling mistakes to me and they're offended by my spelling mistakes and they're offended by a perceived lack of professionalism, then you really don't know me very well. And if you're going to judge me that harshly from one post or one thing, then I'm sorry, we're possibly not going to do business together and we definitely can't be friends. So I have grammar Nazis in my life, but they have learned to say, hey, Joe, I've just noticed this thing that's happened on this document or this piece of writing. Is it okay if I give you some feedback on it? So I don't think we should ever assume that I want feedback. I just, be gentle and kind. I used to beat myself up about spelling mistakes and typos all the time. Funny story. We were doing I was involved in helping with an absence management case. So that's helping a large organisation, or any organisation really, but in this particular case it was a government department and they'd had a gentleman who'd been off and on work over a 2-year period. So he'd used up all his sick leave and all his annual leave and was starting to dip into his long service leave, and they were like, hey, what's going on here? Why can't this person maintain work? And we discovered that he had a fairly serious chronic health issue that he hadn't disclosed and he needed some support to actually make coming back to work and staying at work sustainable. So his organisation paid for us to help him with that. So in this particular department of the organisation, he was an actuary. So actuaries love details and they love errors. That's what they do. They're all about risk, they're all about numbers, and they're all about details. So there would be close to 6 people in this room every time I met because it was decision making by consensus. Anyway, it's a leadership issue for another day. Anyway, so there were other accountants and HR representatives and managers and other actuaries and people. Anyway, it was hilarious. So I'd get terribly offended because every time we'd go to have these meetings, I would prepare an agenda, I would have minutes tabled, and we'd work on, what the findings were from the previous month. These were going on monthly. Now, I did this about 9 times. And didn't twig until about the 6th month that I was getting really upset and anxious going into these meetings because I was terrified of everyone's red pen. So I would turn up to these meetings and I'd be all prepared with my awesome documents that I had agonized over for hours, and everyone would sit there and wouldn't listen to my introduction or anything. They would just sit there and read through everything and mark the errors with their red pen. And of course, I'd walk out feeling defeated and totally demoralized, and like my credibility was on the line. And why would anyone want to refer to me? I can't even get a spelling error corrected on the document. So at the 6th month, I twigged that it was their issue more than mine. And I was never ever, it didn't matter what I did, I just don't see all the errors. Now, in my Medico legal documents and really important documents and semi-important documents, I actually get someone else to read them. But sometimes someone else can actually miss things too, and that's okay. We're human. And with the amount of typing and reading and writing we do every day, I think we just need to give ourselves a bit of permission that it's okay that if a typo escapes our attention, okay? Okay. So I walked in and I gave everybody their documents and I just went quiet. And then I pulled out a big chocolate frog. I don't know if you have Freddo frogs all over the world. We have them here. And I got a big one and I put it in the middle of the table. And I said, this is the reward for the person who can find the most errors. That was life-changing for me. So since then, when I create programs, when I develop products and information products, there's always some quirky thing or quippy thing about, hey, if you can help find the errors in this, if you can point out where the errors have been made, then let me know kindly, sensitively, compassionately. And if you can find more than 10, then I'm happy to send you a free gift. Now, you know what's really interesting is no one's ever taken me up on that, and I've never had somebody come back with the 10 errors so that they can get the free gift. Now, that is not licensed for all of you super high-performing people of perfection to go and read all of my copy on all of my stuff and find me 10 errors in something. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's okay to give yourself a break, and we need to, because I know that I'm an awesome rehabilitation consultant. I know that I'm good at helping people reconnect to purpose. I know that I help businesses create massive cash flow, build multiple products, build teams. I am really good at helping people leverage their business. And I am also extremely good at helping people figure out what that thing is that is stopping them from doing what it is they want to do. I do it by pushing the bruise, but I do it by insensitivity. I do it with compassion, but I also do it with a no BS approach. So in terms of my contribution to the planet, I think what I'm actually contributing is heaps better than me agonizing for hours over the possibility that something might have a spelling mistake in it. There you go. So wisdom for a Friday afternoon. Happy financial year to all, happy end of financial year to all of us in Australia. We have worked hard. We might have achieved our financial goals. We might not. It doesn't matter. It just means we can reset the plan for next year, next financial year. But it also means that come Monday, you need to be creating new folders for new things to be filed into. Yay! Good thing it's not the 1st of January, because I reckon if we had to do financial year from the 1st of January, it'd all even freak out a little bit more. So thank you to the gorgeous Kathy Love, who sent me a text message today congratulating me on my efforts for end of financial year. So I wanted to share that love with everybody else and say, hey, you've done great. We are making a massive impact on the planet. Just remember, every time you help one person achieve a sense of transformation or control, sense of empowerment, being able to do something that they didn't think they could do, we're impacting that person for life. We're impacting that person's relationships, their family. If we're impacting their family, we're impacting a community. If we're impacting a community, we're impacting that city. And if we impact enough cities, we're going to impact enough nations. And when we start impacting nations, that's when we're going to see the world the way we want it to be. So please never ever lose sight that just because you prescribe somebody a walking aid today, or you help somebody discover how to say thank you to a family member, or put the lid on somebody's anger until they learn more appropriate anger management techniques. That stuff is significant. It's really important, and without us doing it, it wouldn't get done, and the world would be a little bit worse off because of it. So I'm looking forward to a Friday night with my family. I'm excited about the new financial year, and I'm looking forward to checking you out next week. This is Private Practice.